Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the latest case study for the VISTA Time Mastery Program. My name is Tushar Imdad and I'm delighted to have Brother Saif Akram from Birmingham. How are you doing, Saif?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, fantastic. Thank you for joining us today. Saif, could you start by just introducing yourself, what you do, how old you are, and your context before you met me?
Yeah, so as Tushar said, my name is Saif. I'm 24 years old. I run a marketing company and I'm involved with two other startups as well. That's what I was doing, before I met Tushar. Had a lot on my plate. That was part of the reason why I wanted to sign up to the coaching. I was really struggling with the workload and kind of just it was mental chaos, to be honest. But since then, alhamdulillah, I've been balancing everything well. Business is 2x since then, and I'm having peaceful days, and I've incorporated a lot of free time into my day as well. So alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah. Fantastic. And thank you so much for that overall, that kind of bird's eye view. So let's go back a bit, and I want our viewers to kind of understand the journey you went through, and then there are special characteristics about your story I think which is going to really benefit our viewers, inshallah. The first thing I wanted to ask, Saif, is how did you come across my work first of all, and what was the trigger to kind of even reach out and get on a call to even discuss your situation?
Yeah, so for me, I've been connected with Tanim, who is one of your long-term clients and friends. I've been
Yes.
connected with him on LinkedIn for quite a while. We've had a few conversations, and then I saw him post something about, not being able to wake up early and, how his coach really, helped him turn that around. That was one of the things he was struggling with. And at that time,
Right.
that was something I was really struggling with. I've always been a night owl, so it's always
Wow,
difficult
I
for me
forgot that,
to.
and we've been working on so many different things. I forgot that that was the initial trigger, right? Subhanallah.
Yeah, so I got in contact with
You are
Tanim.
waking up better now, right?
Yeah, now I start my day at Fajr time, alhamdulillah. So it's been a
MashaAllah,
complete
MashaAllah,
shift. I usually used to sleep at around Fajr time. Now I'm waking up at Fajr time. So it's
MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
it's a
It's
total U-turn.
fantastic.
But
That's
yeah, I
fantastic. That's
reached
why I
out
love doing
to.
these interviews. I find out new things about other people I've been working with, which I didn't realize. So that's fantastic. That's fantastic. So that was the initial step. You heard that Tanim was writing about how he benefited, and what was going on in your life at that time, which made it the perfect time to kind of think, oh, you know what? I'm not just gonna think about it. Now's the time to kind of really go for this.
Yeah, I think the reason why I really pulled the trigger was because I was getting very busy. Like I said, I'm working on two startups as well, and that was when
Mm.
things really started getting a bit busy. And things at the marketing agency was started becoming really strenuous as well. And I just figured if I carried on going down this road, I'm just gonna end up at zero. So I need to really figure out something to do with my routine and in a deen-focused approach, which was really important for me as well. It was important for
Yes.
me to make sure I'm connecting with a Muslim coach as well. So it was a combination of those things.
I love that, and I love how you mentioned the Dean aspect because I was looking at your success tracker, which we use to track our clients, make a big part of helping you keep accountable. And I noticed your Dean score was probably the most impressive improvement, right? From a kind of around 50% to 80%, mashallah. So can you describe some of your biggest wins on the program, some of your proudest achievements, which without the help of the program, you probably would have struggled to achieve yourself?
Yeah, I think one of the most interesting things for me was I thought I'm going to join the program and it's just going to be about getting my daily routine going, kind of just setting my priorities and that kind of stuff. And that stuff did happen. But the biggest change that I noticed was, in the kind of just
Mm.
refocusing my priorities and just, stop chasing the dunya in a sense. Obviously, we all want to strive for ihsan, we want to have great businesses and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's about connecting with, our true purpose on this earth. And that's what you kind of really helped me get back into line with. So I'd say that's probably been the biggest win is kind of just recentering myself and my mindset, and just incorporating things into my day, like, reciting Quran every day, reading Duha every day, making sure I'm getting up for Fajr, reading Tahajjud. So those were things that I
Fantastic.
was not doing before. I would read Quran pretty sporadically. I was never really reading optional prayers. I was just stuck at kind of just the fard prayers. So yeah, I would say those are my biggest wins, just actually Dean wins rather than business wins, which is what I signed up for.
So, amazing! I love that, and yeah, I want to honor you for taking time. And I know how hard it is as an entrepreneur, especially let alone having multiple businesses. It can be so hard to get our head out of that and focus on other things. So, well done for achieving that, mashallah. What are some of your other wins outside of Dean? Like you said, you doubled your revenue in business, and I know in health, I remember you doing a 2K run or something at one point. So, what are some of your wins in outside Dean in business and maybe health and relationships?
Yeah, I would say out. So my priorities were Dean, business, and family. So outside
Mm,
of Dean, in terms of business, like I said, I've pretty much 2x business since then. And I
awesome.
genuinely think it's because I've recentered myself and got my priorities straight, and everything just kind of fell into place. Before I was
Wow. So
kind of
even though
just,
you might have spent less time on the business, but
yeah.
ironically, it actually helped boost business. Subhanallah.
Yeah, I think it's because it was a mindset change, to be honest. I was kind of chasing, and now I'm at a point where things are just coming to me, alhamdulillah.
Wow.
So yeah, that's one of the biggest wins I've had. 2xing your business is a massive thing. So
Awesome.
that's
Awesome.
a huge win in itself. And outside of business, in terms of family wise, I've definitely been very conscious of, my acts, making more of an effort to treat family towards things, and just spend more time with them. And I think, having the Q2 planner and just going through Vista and, the time mastery aspect of things, it's helped me to kind of carve out more time for my family as well, which has really helped in a lot of ways too.
Fantastic. I mean, you've just touched upon my next question, which is, there are a lot of tools in Vista, from the mission statement to the Islamic knowledge audit to many of the Q2 planners you mentioned. Which tools or strategies or parts of the program did you find most impactful, and why?
I would say to be honest, I think it was the mission statement because it kind of, you're writing out who you want to become as you're already that person. So
Mm,
it's kind of just falling into that. And I'd never really thought of it in that way, kind of in those separate roles. Like I've done an activity before where I've like written my own Wikipedia page, but it's nothing compared to this because this is more important and it's broken down into specific roles, Muslim, brother, son, neighbor, entrepreneur. So it really helped me to kind of figure out what I want to be in each of those aspects and then just strive towards each of those.
I love that. I love that. And again, you touched upon my next question. You're good at predicting. So, you mentioned how, like, you tried before on like to create your own. And so one question, people often think is that, well, what's the difference? I could just go and, search them up, like the different parts of my program. Some I give out in short courses, some are free. So, and you could, if you went on the internet, you could potentially find, okay, this is how you do a mission statement, this is how you plan your day. Could you describe for the viewer, maybe someone who's not coach, not, and for many people who invest, this their first experience with coaching, and it happens to be a very kind of advanced model of coaching. But for many people who've never experienced coaching, it's like, well, why don't you just do it yourself? Why don't you just get a book? Why don't you just do this, figure out how to do it? Can you explain and describe, having gone through it, what the difference is of, for example, just on the mission statement as an example, how that was different doing it in the program compared to trying it out yourself, and the whole program as a whole. Why do you think it would have been impossible for you to have achieved that by kind of, going to a short course here or getting something from YouTube there and a book here? What's the difference? I like it when it comes from the clients themselves who've gone through the program. It's best in your words to describe. For maybe a skeptic or someone watching this is like, well, why can't I just do that myself and figure it out myself? What's the difference when you're in the coaching program? Why is it so magical? And why is it that you get such great results when you're in the program?
Yeah, so this was something we spoke about on one of our first ever calls as well, because I'd mentioned to you that I've gone through books like Atomic Habits, I've gone through all of the self-help stuff on YouTube. I'm big into that. But
Yes.
for someone that's probably considering, just doing it themselves, it's probably going to take you 10 times longer to get to the results that you want to. It's kind of just taking a shortcut, working with a coach. I basically saw you'd worked with people that are at levels that I wanted to get to. So going through you, I thought that was a shortcut, and it did turn out to be a massive shortcut as well. Um, as well as that, I
A
think,
good way of putting it. Yeah.
yeah, that's the way that I was looking at it. And in terms of the mission statement specifically, I think there's nothing really out there like this, especially with the Dean focused approach. There's nothing out there like it. So you
Yeah.
could do as much self-help stuff you want, as many courses as you want, but they're never going to tell you to prioritize Allah and your Deen and your family and
Mm.
your responsibilities.
And
before
don't
any.
forget the feedback, right? The English teacher style feedback on the language and
Yeah,
hitting back on the verbs and like, let's do a second draft, right? And we'll check it, right? So
yeah,
there's
100%.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
I did
yeah.
my first
Fantastic.
mission statement, and I remember you tore it apart, so I did it
Oh yeah,
again.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. For
Alhamdulillah,
anyone,
but credit to you, you did the work, yeah, and you put the second part in, alhamdulillah. So you got a
yeah.
masterpiece now.
So for people who
Fantastic.
join, when they go back and look at the old Vista calls, they'll be able to see, how mine got,
This
torn
is
to shreds.
before and after.
Yeah, they'll see a good before and after, inshallah.
I remember you took part in the 3 hour workday challenge, and alhamdulillah, you did well enough that I'm going to be sending you a little bonus prize, mashallah. So you achieved a lot. So tell us a little bit about that because that was like kind of Vista in a week, right? And for people on the outside looking at how on earth could you save that much time? How do you get so much done in a week? Do you want to again, obviously, without revealing, you don't need to go into the detail of the method because you have to go through the whole program to get to that stage. But can you describe what it felt like having that type of week? And what were your biggest kind of hindsights of having experienced one of the most productive weeks of your lives?
Yeah, so for me, I think one of the reasons why what made that week, the most productive week was the fact that we did it together as like a small
Mm,
community. And it was
yeah.
kind of framed as a competition, and competition always brings out the
Yes,
best in people, doesn't it?
it was
So
a competition. Yep,
yeah,
absolutely.
and I think just being in kind of a cohort of like-minded people with similar goals to,
Yeah.
to become their best self really helped. And yeah, just in terms of saving time on the day, is just mainly being more conscious about what you're doing during the day. You tend to waste a lot of time maybe doing X, Y, Z. For me, I waste a lot of time on my phone. Um,
Mhm.
so I really try to minimize that. And obviously I'm very busy. So for me I think I saved 11 hours. For me to save 11 hours is huge. Like it's huge.
It
It might not,
is. So,
it was small compared to what the other people had saved, but for me
no,
that
no.
was
So
massive.
for an entrepreneur, that's massive. So,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
100%.
yeah.
So yeah, I think the
And
main part was, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, final thing is I want to final topic I want to touch on is your age, mashallah. One of the babies. You like the Bukayo Saka of the group, right? To give the Arsenal example. But you're very young, and normally it's actually a kind of red flag when I'm interviewing prospects is that if they're below 25, and normally for a number of reasons. Income, but also maturity. Normally, if you're not married, don't have kids, you don't have the urgency to change. And so, I wanted you to give your perspective, especially if there's, I'm going to be showing this case study, especially to anyone who's considering working in the similar age to you, 25 under. And you'll be very aware of people at your age who are like you and not like you. Um, can you explain why you, first of all, had the motivation and aspiration to do this, and therefore who you would recommend this for if they're at your age, and conversely, who you think shouldn't consider this, who this is not for, and who this is for at your age?
Well, that's a good question. So in terms of people this is for, I would say it's for anyone who wants to become the best version of themselves, and is Muslim. You're going to get things out of this program that you just simply can't get anywhere else. There's nobody teaching this kind of stuff from a deen-focused perspective. So if you're serious about, being the best version of yourself, achieving great things, just being great in general, I would say this is for you. I would say this isn't for you if you're someone that lacks a lot of motivation. Don't get me wrong, you'll be held accountable, but
Mm.
I'm sure you don't like to work with people where you have to hold their hand through every single part of
Yeah,
it. Yeah, you
yeah,
have to
yeah,
be
yeah.
willing to take your own initiative. And yeah, I would say this isn't for you if you're not looking to accomplish your goals, if you're not looking to be the best version of yourself. Really, I'd put it in those simple terms. Really,
Yeah,
it's as
yeah.
simple as that. If you want to improve your life, if you want to achieve your goals, if you want to get closer to your deen, this is for you. If you're not serious about that kind of stuff, then you need to be.
Well, I love that, and I mean, you are quite unique in that. And what about the one of the other things which we touch on briefly is the financial element. It is a big investment, and normally, again, for people in their 20s, they would normally think, well, yeah, maybe when I'm older and my income's higher and I'm more established, then it's
Mm.
worth investing in myself like that. You did it at such a young age, right? So again, what would be your tips on that? Because that's going to be the biggest fear. Like the people who are like, well, maybe I should wait, maybe I should save up, maybe I should invest in stocks and shares or houses or something like that. Yeah, you decide to invest in yourself. so young, right? That's a mindset shift, and not many people your age will do that. I
Mm,
didn't even know about it at your age, to be honest, right? So that's one of the reasons I respect you so much, that you chose to do something so young. By the time you're my age, you're going to be a multi-millionaire, inshallah, right?
inshallah.
And so, so yeah, what would you advise? Well, maybe I'm answering my own question there, but yeah, what would you advise for people at your age thinking about the investment side, and why normally in your 20s you wouldn't invest so much in yourself at that age? You'd wait until you're older. What would you say to that?
Yeah, I think a common thing with people my age and younger is that at this point in our lives, we like to spend on kind of material things. I know a lot of people my age, they'd spend thousands on clothes, on designer things, but
Mm.
they wouldn't
Oh
invest that
wow,
money into themselves.
not
And
been
I
through
think,
that stage myself.
yeah, and investing in yourself is going to have the biggest return. The way I look at it is if your goal is to, buy X, Y, Z, investing in yourself, like from if I was to have that approach, I've 2x my business since then. My income's gone a lot higher. So if I want to go and do that now, I can. But it all started with
Mm.
investing in myself first.
Love
So
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would say that's probably the biggest thing. Investing in yourself is always going to have the biggest return. And I'm keen to invest in myself in the future. At some point I'm considering, your gold and platinum
It's it.
options as well. So
Definitely can't wait
yeah,
to
I
have
want
you
to
on
I
that.
want to
Can't wait to have.
yeah, I want to keep that going, inshallah, as well. So it's great
Fantastic.
to invest in yourself, and you're never going to see better returns in anything than investing in yourself. Not Bitcoin, not Ethereum,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah, and
investing in
I
yourself.
fully believe that. Mashallah, very mature head you've got on your young shoulders, mashallah. So that's
Thank you.
fantastic. Thank you so much. I think you've answered everything I wanted to ask. And yeah, last thing I'll let you tell your story in terms of now that you've gained these skills, now that you've are more productive. How do you plan to utilize them for your own future? What's your vision now for your future now that you feel more productive? What's your vision now, and has that changed since you started in terms of your outlook, in terms of how you want to contribute to yourself, your family, and the community?
Yeah, to be honest, I think it has changed. When I started, everything was kind of business, business, business. Now it's more about becoming the person that I want to be. A business is just an extension of me. It's something that I create, but it's not me.
Yes,
So it's
yes,
just about being, a great son, a great brother, a great husband, inshallah, in the future,
inshallah.
a
Fantastic.
great father. So
Sisters
that's
watching this are going to be they'll be lining up each other. Fantastic. No, I love that. I love that. And then what about your vision for your business, and in terms of you can, I don't mind you giving a little yeah, describe what you're doing and what your vision is for your business.
yeah. So business wise, I've kind of going through the program's kind of given me the confidence that I can do anything I set my mind to. Um, I had that somewhat before, but I was kind of in a place where I was in a lot of chaos. So I couldn't really always see the light at the end of the tunnel. I didn't know how I was going to be able to juggle things. Now I can, and I know that I can fill up my plate a bit more, as well as being able to have free time and that kind of stuff. So now I approach business, with a very relaxed state of mind rather than like a panic state of mind, which is how I was before. So yeah, I would say that's the biggest thing.
Is it safeakram.com? Well, if people want to find out more about what you do, where do they go?
I would say just request me on LinkedIn if you want to
LinkedIn, yeah?
request. If you want to request me,
Fantastic.
just find out more about what I do. But yeah, I mean, there's not many collaboration opportunities, which is why I don't have safeakram.com or anything like that. I'm
That's all
very
right,
much,
yeah.
I'm always working in the
LinkedIn, yeah?
shadows. So yeah, LinkedIn.
No worries, no worries. I'm sure people will find you, inshallah, on LinkedIn. Fantastic, mashallah. Great.
Sure.
And you focus on email copywriting, is it?
Yeah, email marketing is my marketing business,
Marketing.
and then I
Fantastic.
have the startups are based on recruitment and AI.
Recruitment, yeah, mashallah. Three cutting edge areas. Love it. Love it. Fantastic. So, Safe, all the best in your future. I really looking forward to seeing you develop and continue to kind of crush your goals, and with Allah first, and living that vision of balanced success, alhamdulillah, which the whole point of this day is. So, thank you so much for coming here. Thank you, the listeners, and those of you watching and listening. If you resonate with Safe's story, and especially if you're in your mid 20s and you've got similar qualities to Safe, you'll see a link below the video where you can book a initial consultation, and then we can see if we can start your journey, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan, everyone. Thank you again, Safe. All the best, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.